We were just arguing
We were arguing.
about last time you came on and how many times you've been on.
Just once.
Only once?
Yeah, that's what I
3
thought.
years ago.
Yeah,
I could've sworn it was
nearly the
twice.
beginning of the podcast, so I want to say episode 30-ish was dropping.
Wait, really?
And we're now
wow.
at 168 episodes.
Oh, your podcast.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Mine. No, you were well.
Yeah.
You were well along the way,
Yeah.
for sure. So it was over in St. Louis Park.
Right. Okay. Well, so for those that do not know, this is our special guest, Roshini. Mm-hmm. Say your last name for
Raj
me.
Kumar.
There we go.
Raj
I don't want
Kumar,
to
yeah.
slaughter
It's like
anybody's
jar
name.
backwards is what I tell people. Raj Kumar.
Raj Kumar. Okay, that's not that hard. Okay, and your Crisis Files. Mm-hmm. When did you start it? Why did you start it? What are you up to?
You know, it's really taken on its own life. Way back in time, my first career, I was a TV reporter and left TV news in early 2006 to start my biz. So I'm an executive coach and crisis strategist, professional speaker, and had my own show on WCCO Radio Sundays for 9 years.
Great.
And as I sunset that in 2021, I'd already started to plan for this, the Crisis Files. And originally the idea was for a TV show, so a TV pilot.
Sure.
Which we did shoot as a pilot, hired a production company, spring of 2022, shot a pilot. There's a short teaser of it on our podcast site, or our website, thecrisisfiles.com, but had to sort of set it aside, partly because of the strikes in Hollywood, but also I
that's
said,
right,
while that
the
was
writer's
being edited,
strikes.
should we bring it out first iteration as a podcast? And obviously, you know, I've followed Tom Barnard's career. He was a trailblazer in podcasts, so the thing was happening, but no one was quite figuring out exactly the best model.
Right, right.
So I thought, well, it's a little easier to produce 15 to 20 minute podcasts. So in August of 2022, that was when we kicked off season 1, and this August we kicked off season 4. And so the podcast has just really taken on its own life. And I think about the pilot. I haven't totally left it, but one day I might return to it to try to sell that. But in doing the podcast, we've seen it's very much both B2B, B2C, B2 consumer, because we do all kinds of topics from cyber and AI and real dangerous things to sleep deprivation and burnout that are more consumery and people-oriented.
Okay.
So that it's also helped me shape the show into something that's really usable.
And what did it start as, and what is it now?
Well, started as just, it was going to be a TV pilot or that I sold to, hopefully, worked on selling to cable TV or streaming. And now it's a podcast with paid sponsors as well as a big following. It's a national podcast produced locally in the Twin Cities. And who knows, maybe growing that, multiplying the podcast. I may never go back to the TV pilot.
Right.
But it's a
Right.
great visual. We have that.
And what is your topic? What is your content exactly
Well,
about?
we're always trying to prevent crisis, or if crisis has happened, we maybe jump off the headlines. So for example, all the stuff with Elon Musk. Let's just take him as an example. Mm-hmm. And we were one of our first episodes, early episodes, was when he was going to buy Twitter.
Oh,
Yes. And we did an episode, one of my Crisis Squad members and I, Jen Hellman, about that and what were the implications of that and the brand, implications, the possible crisis for employees. And in every episode, we hope you as a business owner, you as a business person, you as a person get lessons you can use in your own life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. You're trying to help
Absolutely.
people, in other words.
We are. We're trying to help people. We're trying to prevent crisis. And we definitely have fun. I mean, you know me, Catherine. You know me, Tom. I'm a little irreverent. That gets in there.
I love that.
Yes. And we've curated guests from all over the country and the world that come on with me in addition to my 4-person Crisis Squad.
I mean, we are at no loss of crises
Yes.
in America
Oh,
and
that's for
around the
sure.
world right now.
Right.
You can be very busy.
Yes. In fact, we're living in a state of permacrisis. And that is challenging.
Yeah.
And do you think that that's organic or
Man-made.
Man-made.
Human-made.
Human-made.
It is both.
okay?
My advice to people is, can we find commonality first? Can we first look at ourselves and how we react to events?
I love that because I think that's where
Before-
it starts.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Before we start to blame.
Yeah.
The blame game is so crazy. It's an
It
epidemic
is.
right now.
It is.
It is.
And that's fodder for all kinds of problems.
And we were just talking with our previous guest. She's a permanent guest, Kristen Burt. She does Hollywood reporting. And how so many people are getting, they're making a lot of money on being
Exactly.
obnoxious.
And the age of the influencer.
Yeah,
Right?
right. And I don't see that slowing down, do you?
I don't, although we have to put a stop to it. So on my show, I have the Crisis Squad. I have about 8 regular contributors and then, weekly guests, like from different times that may come on once. And we have a regular contributor. He's a film critic and entertainment reporter, Paul McGuire Grimes. Okay. He's based in the Twin Cities. He's actually a true, I love saying he's a card-carrying member of the Film Critics Association. But we did several episodes during the Hollywood strike. I also did an episode with him about cancel culture a couple
nice.
seasons ago. Yeah. And it is really sad that people can be canceled just for having their own opinion. If they truly do something bad, I get it. Commit a crime, different things that are obnoxious. But just because you have a different opinion, I mean, think of Dean Phillips, for example. He was one of the first people to say Biden shouldn't run. And I was applauding that not because I'm against Biden, it's because it was obvious. And he was the only one who had the courage to say it. And then he got canceled. And now he's on the cover of Twin Cities Business Magazine with his story. He was right, but he's no longer going to run for office. And he was a voice of moderation that we needed.
He's a great guy.
Yes.
We used to have him come in at the old location. He did the show a few times.
Yep.
Really nice guy.
I didn't really know him personally. I thought he was a little wishy-washy politically, but I didn't really follow him that.
Well, I interviewed him on my WCCO radio show many times when he was running for office, then once he was in office, and then I even did a joint interview with him and a Philadelphia congressman. They were part of that, and now the name is going to escape me, but they formed a caucus of both parties trying to bring compromise.
What a great idea.
It was great. We did it live on YouTube on Facebook during my actual radio show, and they were both on. And Brian Fitzpatrick joined us from Pennsylvania. Dean was on with me, and it was just, and that's what we need. We need more of those voices.
Well, we had Rick Kupchell on yesterday, and you were a part of that precarious state. And what was very interesting to me was watching the social media reaction to what he was saying. It was just so extreme. Everything's
extreme.
just so extreme. And I don't think what he was saying was an extreme point of view. It was just like, these are the facts. Hennepin County in particular is dying as far as businesses go. The downtown area is not doing well. And people get angry.
Yeah.
I mean, their first reaction is always to just get angry instead of thoughtful contemplation. We just have all these knee-jerk reactions, and I don't know if I think politicians are driving part of that, because I think the more negative you are, the more attention you get, especially as a politician.
Yes. Right. Absolutely, because they're going for clicks.
Yeah.
They're going for likes. And it was interesting. I was reading many of the comments. I really recommend anyone watch, whether you're from Minnesota or not, Precarious State, precariousstates.com.
This is coming to a lot of cities near you.
This document, and it's happening or it's coming. And the issues and the stats, I mean, Rick did a lot of research. He showed me the research nearly a year ago, and I was kind of blown away. And that is even why, because I'm not a reporter anymore. Now I'm a talk show host and a consultant. And so I still don't consider myself a journalist anymore. I used to be. But he had such good research, and he had the numbers, and he had the stats. And I just thought, this has to get out there. And so my part is just one segment. Certainly, this is Rick's baby. He did the majority of everything on it. And before he even got underwriters, he put his own money into it. That's how much he loves the city of Minneapolis and wants the state of Minnesota and its legislators to take things seriously.
Yeah, but I mean, since you have a background in journalism.
Oh, yes.
I'm guessing that you're more of
I'm a centrist for sure.
But truth and facts and figures are actually important.
Right. My show was called Real Talk with Roshini. I don't like BS.
Right.
We need facts. And someone, I shared the precarious state from their Facebook page to my Facebook page a couple days after the documentary aired on TV. And even on mine, it's getting vile comments. Both sides. Well, it's getting both. It's getting both sides. And Rick has gone on and commented, and someone called it a hack job, and I loved his. I had a comment.
I know. I just
and about,
can't
well,
believe
you
it.
know, it's a paid for kind of thing. And then he wrote a really thoughtful comment that I just read this morning, which is, he kind of said, you know, for a year I put in my own money before I had underwriters, and underwriters underwrite everything,
Right.
all productions. I mean, we have
Yep.
paid sponsors on the podcast. These sponsors are not telling me, no sponsor has ever told me what to put on my show.
No, we've never
Right.
had that experience.
I have
No, I don't think
editorial
so.
control, so
Yep,
do you all.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what, and I get it. I mean, I'm not a nurse. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not a pilot. Not going to tell those people what to do. But I can tell you, as a former TV reporter, I know facts and I know attribution.
Right.
And I know when you don't have the facts and when you're just blowing, you know,
Right.
in the wind so someone gets you. So don't criticize someone when they really did spend years and
did,
months
yeah.
and money digging up the facts, not from one source, but from like 30 sources. And, you know, Catherine, I'm guessing he shared this with you. I heard, I know you followed up with him, but your original time before it aired, there were people who didn't want to participate because they didn't want to put their reputation on the line to be part of Rick's project. I thought about it.
Really?
I had people who asked me, are you sure? And I said, you know what? I'm a crisis strategist. I have a
Yeah.
show called The Crisis Files. If I don't get involved and be part, again, a small part of the precarious state, how am I worth my brand?
Right.
That's what it
Exactly.
came down to for me, and that's why I can support what Rick is doing. I'm not supporting an opinion. I'm helping him
Yeah.
support and get the truth out there.
Right.
Right? I mean, if you watched it, there are Republicans and Democrats and people who you don't even know what their political persuasion is
Right.
in that documentary.
Right.
That's the definition of why you do a documentary.
Yeah. That's what I think. But apparently, I could be wrong. The way that people are they're psycho.
They are.
I mean, I even I went on a Nextdoor site. We used to live in Edina, and somebody posted something about some break-in close to where we live. And I hardly ever go on that site. And they were arguing about precarious state. They were just ranting and
Yeah.
raving. So, I mean, it's got a lot of reach.
Yeah.
He certainly has opened up a can of
I had an
worms.
ex-boyfriend from a former state reach out and say, "Nice job."
Oh, there
And
you go.
He's a sitting judge in another state. So,
Oh, wow.
I mean, talk about someone who knows the law
Yeah.
and was a former prosecutor. And
Right.
he said that, what a project. And I said, well, it was Rick's heavy lift. I'm honored that he asked me to be part of it.
You know, it's
Yep.
scary to take on an endeavor like that because you do know what the political climate is, and knowing how people have just got their minds made up and they don't want to hear any facts or figures or anything. They
And
just
they will actually try to harm you if they
yeah,
can.
the whole
They
doxing
do do that whole
society
deal.
and
Yep.
let's go protest at their house and I mean,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Well, I have to ask you three because we got into this topic. I was on WCCO TV on Monday morning, October 6th, promoting our big event coming up at the Mall of America. But we ended up also starting the segment by, they wanted my intake on this new crisis in the WNBA. And we talked about brands and platforms. And Nafisa Collier wouldn't have gone on and made those statements about the commissioner of the WNBA and about her take on bad officiating if she didn't know she had a strong platform. So for someone like you all, you take stands, you say things, but you know you have a platform. Rick has a long history
Yeah, he does.
as
Excuse me.
an award-winning, and he doesn't do it for the awards, but award-winning journalist of covering facts and breaking news. And that's the platform, which is my guess, why he thought, okay, I'm going to take this on, because if I don't, probably no one will.
Yeah, because
I didn't want to take it on. It's a lot of work. I agree with him.
well, it's
but
also
it's a lot of work.
scary. It's also scary.
It's not scary for me, but
No?
I have a high tolerance for being disagreed with, as I'm sure your husband does too.
Oh, okay. Well,
There is that.
he's used to it. He doesn't like
But-
it, but
No.
he's used to it.
But here's a good point to make, because that whole thing, you're talking about, putting your deal out there and all the rest of it. The problem that I have, and I don't know any other one guy in radio this ever happened to, But the show got to be the highest rated show in America, and people got very pissed off about that, which I don't understand. Can't be happy for you. And that was back when that whole deal, they're calling me a racist.
Oh my God! Sorry,
Way
sorry,
to go,
sorry,
Catherine.
sorry.
They had to be during
I
my
always
talk.
silence it. Sorry.
Yeah, here we go. But anyway, these, whatever party they're in, Minnesotans decided they'd use the race card against me, and they would use the homophobe card against me.
Yep, that's the
Now,
easiest thing to do.
Here's the problem. I had 3 black men on my show. That's not a very good racist. I'm not very good at being a racist, apparently.
If that were the case, yeah.
If that were the case, that'd be a little tough. And then the other one, what did happen with the other one again?
Transphobia.
No, transphobia. First morning show in America, I had not 1, not 2, but 3 trans people on the show 20 years ago.
Really?
Or 15 years ago. Even.
Wow.
3. We had were they all 3 men to women? No. There were 2 men to women and 1 woman to man.
And were they talking about their stories, or were they just experts in something and they happened to be trans?
It was very interesting, and I asked them, because I didn't know anything about what do they mean. What do you mean trans? I mean, this, like I said, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing about this state that drives me nuts. If they want to get you, they'll do whatever it takes to get you.
Well,
because it's obviously a lie.
Yeah, yesterday when we were talking with Rick, I mean, you saw the vile comments. It's like, it was on KSTP. The reason why it was on KSTP is because Stanley Hubbard is a Nazi. you just like want to tear your hair out because it's just so.
Stanley.
It's insanity.
Well, there are a lot of, the lawyer in me says there are a lot of defamation lawsuits that any of these people wanted to do, they could.
That's
but
the thing.
part of the thing is, Rick's a public figure. Stanley Hubbard to some extent. But when it's blatant lies, you have a lawsuit. So people should really be careful. I mean, I'm not saying you have to always be rosy with your comments, but you could be charged, well, at least a civil suit. I don't know about an actual crime, but you could have a lawsuit on your hands if you don't watch what you're doing on social media.
But why do you want to spread that kind of crap around anyway? I mean, just because somebody votes a different way than you do or has a different opinion on anything, calling them the most vile things, why do people want to do this?
Well,
What's in it for
And
them?
the thing is, Catherine, sometimes I find these names are... You don't even know the definition of what a Nazi or a fascist is before you call someone that.
That's true.
I remember my last TV reporting job before I left there to move home to start my business was in Detroit at the NBC. And I remember it was probably like halfway into my time there, and I did a story, and I was out in the field. And when I got back, my news director called me into the office and said, a viewer called and said you did this and this and this. And just for the point of the story, I don't even remember the topic, but I do remember saying to my news director, they're criticizing me for something about Mexicans. There were no Mexicans in my story.
There you go. Exactly what I'm talking about.
What? And my advice is call the reporter. Don't call the news director, who might not even have watched it. And then the news director, don't yell at me. Get your facts straight.
I know.
So he really wasn't yelling, but my point is, the people that call in with maybe a little 5 seconds that they watched, they didn't actually see the whole story. Or go back online and watch it again. If you want to complain, look, I had viewers write me. They didn't text then when I was on TV, but write me, email me, call me, and with positive things as well as questions or negatives. So to sit and talk through it, maybe we're both then in a better place. Maybe I did have a misstatement. Now I can correct it. Or maybe they misunderstood and I wasn't inaccurate. But you can't just assume and then yell or send a bad email or text.
It's true. Somebody's having is that Derek having a big day? I think he's posted about 15 times so far. He's having a big day.
Well, he's enjoying the new chat room.
I wish these figures would sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's hard.
It's hard.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time.
Yes,
it's a lot.
Here's what part of it goes to your standard of proof. So if you are a public figure, it's harder. Remember Johnny Depp, the whole Johnny Depp and his ex-wife and all that. Well, if Johnny Depp had every time someone said something bad about Johnny Depp, it's you're in the public realm. People
Right.
can have their freedom of speech. Is it nice? No. But we're not going to bring them into court. We're not going to fine them, those kinds of things.
No.
But private citizens to private citizens have a little more power.
Okay.
So this is, if you're someone who's not technically a public figure or a member of the media or a politician, and that kind of crap is happening on your social sites, I would look into it or report it to the police. I mean, empower yourself. My advice is not to storm back with a bad comment
Yeah.
or reply.
You're right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. And
That was
Believe
hard for me.
I've written a million posts that I've deleted. I'm like, I just got.
But
I
get
had
it out.
I had to
Yeah,
vent
get
it
it
out. Delete.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and even like a bad email, I'm not saying I do this, but I'm just speaking for a friend. Go into the email. Don't put who it's to.
Yeah.
And write it out, and get it out, and read it, and just say, "Oh, okay, got it out." And maybe I misunderstood. Then you delete. But there's
Right.
no accident of it being sent because you didn't even fill out who it was sent.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes like forum posts or like Reddit posts or whatever, even if it's not a negative thing, sometimes you just you type out 4 or 5 paragraphs and then you're like, you know what? No one's going to care about this.
Yeah.
You just Control A, delete.
Yeah.
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 Well, see, so Andy, that's your personal discernment. I'm big on discerning. I mean, discern before you post. Discern before you pick up the phone or write an email and have to blast someone out.
Right.
And ask questions. Maybe it's, I saw this. You said this about me. What did you mean by that?
Yeah.
I mean, where might that take us by way of constructive conversations?
Probably no reply.
Well, I mean, if they're sitting in front of you. Like, I've actually had conversations sometimes with people sitting in front of them. Like,
Right.
well, what was that all about?
Sure.
And then if I can clarify, I clarify. And if I'm at fault, I'll apologize. And sometimes we'll have to agree to disagree.
Right.
Because we're just going to always see it differently.
You mean have a conversation like a grown-up?
Exactly. Adulting. It's hard.
That's pretty unusual.
It does seem
Pretty
to be hard.
unusual. It just, what amazes me is that anybody, as far as public figures are concerned, that anybody would get that upset with any public figure, because I mean they're just doing what they do. I don't look back on any. First of all, I will say this: Minneapolis-St. Paul is definitely one of the top 2 or 3 news markets in the country. People don't understand.
Not size-wise, but just actual news happening.
Actual news. What I'm talking about is you watch the news in New York, it's going to be a lot different from in Minneapolis, and Minneapolis is going to be a lot better. Minneapolis is a lot better news
Right.
market than New York.
Right, as far as
California.
quality, but New York is still the biggest TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Well,
But you
I
mean
mean-
quality, yeah. But even since I left TV news, I mean, sadly, and I was just with a couple media buddies yesterday, we were talking about it, they're both still in it. The stations, whether it's because they're owned by big companies now,
Yeah, right,
there's less
right,
independence, and dollars matter, and they're hiring people that are far less qualified and shouldn't be in big market yet. They should
Right.
make some of their mistakes in smaller markets. I mean, in TV, I worked my way up. I started in Fargo, went to Des Moines, went to Nashville, which was amazing, was
Yeah.
here at Fox 9 for 2 years, and then went on to Detroit. And I'm glad I had the street cred by
Sure.
the time I got to the larger size markets.
Right. Absolutely.
It doesn't mean I was perfect, but I wasn't making like super green rookie mistakes in Minneapolis and Detroit on the air.
Right.
Which is what we're seeing now. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole weird deal now. How people, it's like, really? What are you doing? They don't think through how many people, first of all, they're talking to. They don't even think about that, apparently. And the people say things on TV now. It's like, why would you even say that on television?
Because
Makes no
negativity is king right
It
now.
works.
I guess.
is. There's a lot of people that are holding on to some sort of hope that what's that act, Andy, that makes journalists actually tell the truth that they took away? Munt
Oh, the
Act?
Smith-Munt?
Smith-Munt Act?
Kinda, but I mean,
A lot of people are hoping that if we could, hold journalists to truth instead of entertainment news, because that's what we have now. And in my opinion, a lot of CNN, MSNBC,
Kind of
Fox.
infotainment. One of my
Yeah.
mentors calls it kind of angertainment.
Yeah.
sure
At
is.
least when it's the talking heads types.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that they have to be held accountable for truth. That they can't just make stuff up anymore. That would be, that seems to be where a lot of people are like, if we could get back to that, then maybe we could get back to some civil discourse, but I don't know.
It's interesting, Catherine, because I don't know, right now, it's almost hard to define what is the truth, because depending on who the person is, the truth now has a spectrum. It's really crazy. When I was a TV news reporter, especially in my early markets, I was taught by some seasoned journalists. And we put our heads together at the morning meeting. Everybody's opinion mattered. It stayed there. You don't take it personally if someone doesn't like your story idea, or if they might like your story idea, but hey, let's go this angle, or make sure you talk to this person too. And you go out and you interview 1 to 4 people for your story, and you pull it together. And also, here's one of the biggest problems I see is attribution has changed. When I was in TV news, and it wasn't that long ago, from the beginning of my career to the end of my on-air news reporting career, you had to get sources that would go on the record. Think of all the stories you either read or hear about where it just says a source says. Or Jennifer Aniston's people say. Who is that? So no one's taking accountability for the attribute, so that the journalistic source, the media outlet, if my thing would be if each of those media outlets would say we need named sources. Like they did in the Watergate years. They need a named source. Remember, I mean, I was a kid, I was like an infant when that was happening, but when I watched the movies, they needed to get a name. They needed to get it properly attributed or confirmed before even the Watergate, the files could be, you know what I mean, the stories and reports, Woodward and Bernstein could even report on it.
But are they hiding behind protecting my source?
No, they're not.
Well,
I don't know what they're doing. The problem is, like, let's just use Rick's documentary because we've been talking about it. Everyone is named in there. So you've got the people that you saw interviewed. You have where did these facts come from, whether you saw it down on the screen or it was voiced in the attribution of the cop, the reporter voiced it, the correspondent voiced it. So start watching for that now. Start looking for that when you read whatever you read. Does it say Jerry Jones said this, or does it say a spokesperson for Madonna said? And even worse from that, because that at least you could connect it to Madonna, to unnamed sources or an anonymous source or a source who didn't want to be named. Well, then that could be my neighbor who didn't want to be named and went to you and said, Roshini is running around naked and I can't stand it, arrest her. And it's like, not that I want pictures of that. I don't do that. And, and then they go and report it with no pictures, no attribution.
Oh, God.
Well, they certainly do that in the political arena all the time.
All the time. And that's why the public doesn't have trust, because who do you then go fact check? As either another news outlet fact checking a different source of news outlet, or the public wanting to look into, well, okay, let me go to their website and read that longer version of that article. So attribution by news outlets and any media outlet would be, I think, a huge thing. The conglomeratization of media and, one ownership of hundreds or thousands of entities. I mean, look at ABC. It's owned by Disney. When I was in Fargo and in Nashville and even at Fox 9 in Minneapolis, I at one point I thought I want to be at the network, and Good Morning America, to be a correspondent for ABC, you had arrived. Now it's like every other person is a former football player or, there was no news cred behind them. So now they're on a national morning show, and it's owned by Disney. I mean, how much can we trust all those facts? And again, I'm not trying to misalign the celebrities you like out there. They're just not news people. Some of them. Even George Stephanopoulos is not a news person. He's a former political operative. So let's be clear. And I mean, can he be neutral and down the middle? I don't know. I've never met him. I'd love to interview him about that. But he helped get Clinton elected. Do you think he's ever going to be 100% damningly critical of a Democrat? I mean, I'm just
Right.
He could be.
Yeah, people switch sides sometimes, but
yeah, and
it's
it-
rare.
Very rarely.
Right, and this is not even switching sides. This is when I was a TV reporter. I'm a Catholic. I wouldn't even wear a cross.
Right.
Because I want you to know
Right.
that I'm going to look at all the facts.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody to this day knows my politics. I'm so centrist. I actually vote for the candidate. And on my radio show, I had political people who I had on all the time would say, I've come on your show for all these years. I have no idea what your politics are.
Right.
And that was a compliment to me. In my mind, it was a compliment because I'm trying to be fair to everybody.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we live in a society that thinks that The View is actually a news source.
Oh, God.
The
Oh,
View.
God.
Yeah, the difference between actual news and opinion.
Yeah.
That's what people also need to understand. And there's a lot of blending, as you pointed out before. There's so much blending now that's packaged as infotainment or news.
Yeah.
But it's not news.
No, and it gets them all riled up.
Yeah.
They get so riled up.
Yeah.
Rolf, we have a comment. The Fairness Doctrine Act was repealed in 1986.
Yeah.
You can see the division starting after that.
I don't remember a world when the Fairness Doctrine existed because I was
Right.
born in 1986.
Yeah, I don't really remember that either, even in my
Yeah.
TV reporting days, which was, late 90s into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rolf, for
Yeah.
fact-checking us on that.
Well, there was the Smith-Mundt Act. That was a thing.
Obama repealed that, I
He
believe.
didn't repeal it, but he did modify it.
Okay.
And that was, I don't know, 20-ish years ago, something like that.
Yep.
Not quite 20, but, close enough to 20. Who's counting, really? There's the Fairness Doctrine.
Well,
that was
but-
a big
but
one.
you
And
have
then...
you have to ask a question: is why would a president want to be involved in any of that anyway? I mean, why would a president want any sort of?
Well, I don't know if
Factual.
I don't know if he himself
You gotta
modified
wonder.
it.
Yeah. Well, I
see.
love the question from Empty Pockets. I love that handle, by the way.
MT Pockets.
Oprah really took the gloves off when Obama was elected. Wait, what do you mean, MT? I don't know what do you know what MT means? MT.
No.
Let's see. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 was not Obama. He did sign it, but it was put in. It was an official act, so it went through the House and so forth.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it was a bill.
but he did have to sign it.
Yeah, he
Yes.
had to sign it, but it wasn't an executive order.
Well, okay, and why would the House want that? Why? So that they can influence and.
The fairness. Repeat the
Yeah.
Smith. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
that's.
I mean-
Yeah, I don't know how you hold the individual. That's what the courts are there. If the individuals stray from being true journalists, they could be sued. They could lose their jobs. I mean, it kind of starts with these sources of power, which are the media outlets.
Right. It
All right, I have
does.
to ask you, what time do you have to be out here?
What time is it now? About
1046.
10:46.
or
11:40.
11:46,
I'm going to
I
go
mean.
back in time.
probably in about 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was
Is
thinking.
that cool?
Should probably
We
do
should
another.
do our final break.
And then
come
you can
back.
talk about.
Oh, I'd love to
your-
talk about our big event.
And
Yeah.
talk about your event when we
Absolutely.
come back.
We'll be right back right after this. More with Roshini.
Many car dealers try to create an extreme sense of urgency. Does anybody really buy it?
We gotta sell 100 cars by Saturday to get the boss off the roof. You'll never see these rebates again. And oh yeah, your trade will never be worth more.
Really? I asked Jim Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings his thoughts.
I don't even know what to say. I hope folks are smarter than that.
Has there really ever been a time when it was urgent?
Probably not. But this tariff environment might be a first. Valley has several hundred pre-tariff units on the ground. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs, but these are really safe buys. Going forward, Valley's committed to make whatever the situation is as painless as possible, like we've always done.
Where can we find you then?
Get them pre-tariff. Hurry, hurry, hurry. When they're gone, they're gone. And man,
At a Valley store in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Certainly not on a roof.
That'd be great.
South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and, take advantage of these incentives than in Sioux Falls. We already talked about how we do. We love Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. South Dakota ranks among the top 10 states in the U.S. for tax friendliness, hardest working, healthcare and doctors, most popular to move to, inbound state for movers. Now, listed in the 50 best places to live for families, the fastest growing Midwest metro, one of the best places to raise a family, that's very important, obviously. one of the best small cities for Gen Z workers, national 4 top 10 inbound city people move to. So how does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Visit www.siouxfallsdevelopment.com.
Andy, you're going to go to Sioux Falls for your anniversary?
We can talk about it. I mean,
should do it.
It's not that far
No,
away.
it's only like a 3-hour drive, I think.
3 hours.
It's a little longer than that.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Fargo?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think 3 hours quite, but
Okay,
it's probably like,
let's
what,
say
5?
5 hours, that's not bad.
So where did you work in Fargo?
I worked at KVLY, the Valley's Choice, which has changed names and ownership multiple times. It is the NBC affiliate there. I was there for 11 months. I loved it because Fargo-Moorhead, it was half in Minnesota, half in North Dakota, which was so neat as my very first on-air TV reporting job because Minnesota didn't allow cameras in the court. North Dakota did. And, so that just for anything that was court-related, that was a whole interesting difference in way of covering.
Sure.
And then, just a lot of different issues. Was on a lot of hog farms, a lot of weather stories. But I'm still in touch with a lot of people there, and it was a fabulous time in my reporting career.
Nice.
I feel like I remember last time you were on, you talked about giving like the corn report or whatever.
Yeah, I probably did.
Something like that.
But then I moved on to Des Moines, Andy, so it could have been there too.
That's
So you never
go.
know. For 2 years in Des
There you
Moines,
have it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, I worked in both Grand Forks at KNOX and in Fargo at KVOX. Loved them, but the people of the Dakotas are the nicest people you ever want to
They're
meet.
really nice.
They really are.
And a
just
lot of
great to deal with.
broadcasters went through there.
Oh, yeah, I think
many
so.
of my
Yeah.
WCCO colleagues, my former colleagues at WCCO Radio, a lot of them had been through Fargo as part of their career.
Except one thing, and I won't obviously say the whole thing, but one of my first breaks at KNOX in Fargo, which would have been about 55 years ago, okay? I did my first break, and I'm going on there, welcome to KNOX, we got some Beatles coming up in a couple of minutes, and blah, 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 blah. And the phone lights up, and I'm like, oh, God, this is great. I pick up the phone and go, KNOX. I hear this pause. Get that big N off the air. First call I ever took in
That's
Grand
not
Forks.
very nice.
It's like, but I have that little rasp or whatever it is, and they were convinced I was this I don't know what the hell.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
I will never forget that. I'm like,
Obviously, that person didn't sleep on it before they decided to call you.
well,
and
no,
say
I think
that.
the guy might have been drinking because I was on 6
Well,
to 10 at
that is a
night.
big
Yeah.
problem when people are drinking.
And then
6
they
to
call.
10 at
And then
night,
they
so
call.
it's like, they're
Drunk dialing. Different kind of drunk dialing.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
All right, the crisis files at MOA.
Oh God.
We are so excited. I cannot even tell you. And I've been doing TV this week and on Saturday. And when I watch the playback, I'm like, you could tell from my eyes I've had no sleep. No amount of makeup covers up the bags under my eyes. But it is there's so much love in this show. The Mall of America's team has been amazing. Jill Renslow is the big boss over there, and they've been a sponsor of the show from nearly the beginning. This is our second annual live recording.
I don't see why you're doing this. Chris Eggert's going to be there?
Yeah,
Chris Eggert is coming
what?
as he's one of our past guests. I know he's a friend of your show.
He's going to be on the show tomorrow.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Will you ask him?
We will.
Yes,
Totally
he's going to
ask
be
him.
on the main stage with me. So we're doing 3 actual live recordings, one of which with his colleague Ken Barlow, who's a past guest on the show.
Good guy.
Yeah, he's a nice
great
guy.
I'm so excited. Rob Patterson from Comcast. He's an executive from Comcast. They're one of our sponsors, but he's going to talk digital defense, all this cyber stuff happening online and with your TVs and who's watching you and AI. And then my whole crisis squad. So they shot the pilot with me 3.5 years ago.
All right.
Jen Hellman, Steve Silton, and Dr. Abdul Omari are local. Dr. Cheryl Ziegler's flying in from Denver for this. We have not all been physically in the same location in 3.5 years since we shot the pilot.
Well, that's
and they're my closing podcast. I close with them recording. So 3 episodes we're recording, but 27 past guests are coming back. And I'm doing, talk about a fire round. I'm doing like 2 minutes of interviews on stage in between the podcast recordings with that list of people you see there, Catherine.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is wonderful.
Okay, so it's
wait a
at the
minute.
Huntington
5 to 8 p.m. Rotunda. The Rotunda.
The Huntington Rotunda
Right in the
at
middle.
MOA, October 9th, between 5 and 8.
We'll just come anytime between there and you'll find us. There's a selfie wall. You can take a selfie. You can mix and mingle. We've got it's amazing to me. And you see that list, a lot of business leaders, sports leaders, media personalities. And, as I was getting ready to come to you all, I thought, why hasn't the family Barnard been on the Crisis Files?
We haven't been invited.
I think let's publicly, I'm saying,
Maybe
come
it's
on.
your fault.
You have
All
an
right, we will.
open invitation. Our studio's in St. Paul.
Wow,
We'd love to have
Roxanne
you.
Battle.
Roxanne's coming. She's a past guest on the show. On
a
her
name I haven't
episode,
heard
we
in a while.
talked about empathy a couple months ago.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that's
how it's
nice.
really lacking.
Oh, is it
Yes.
ever?
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Yes, you name it. We have had a lot of Minneapolis, St. Paul media personalities have been on the show, but the show's a national show, so we have people from all over the country, and even one from Sweden who pitched us. He was a risk expert, and we had him a couple years ago. So,
You know what's so great about what you're talking about with empathy and all the rest of it? In my personal life, it was a huge part of it because my father was taken away in a straitjacket and taken to a mental institution. And you know what happened the next day? Because this was very open out, they're wheeling him out on a whatever the hell they call those things. And he's screaming and yelling, and it's just this big brouhaha. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Laurent, Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien, Mr. and Mrs. Fisher, 5 different couples came to my house and said, "Don't worry about it, Tom. We'll keep an eye on you." That's how wonderful people. Would people do that now, do you think?
I think so.
I think
hope.
there are definitely some, but
Yeah.
that is love and empathy,
It's
and
just
that's
wonderful.
Just also recognizing this kid didn't get the best break here in this situation.
We've got a couple questions about
Okay.
your appearance. When are the
yeah,
live
she's gotta
shots
go now,
happening
too.
at MOA?
Okay, well, it's live all night. So the 3 different live recordings where you can actually see us, and the entire mall, by the way, will hear these live.
Okay.
The mic is on to the entire mall. We have live recordings of the podcast at 5:05 p.m., 6 p.m., and 7:20 p.m. But in between those, Rolf, are about 25 little quick live interviews. I'm calling them live chats. Standing up, those won't later be on the podcast channels, but you will hear them live that night if you're in the mall anywhere, and you'll see everyone if you're in the Rotunda.
Are you taking questions from your audience?
No.
Okay.
Can't control audio for that, and it's like so many elements to the show.
yeah.
We just can't. But I'm really excited for all of it. We have some special surprises in the 6 o'clock hour for Ken Barlow that he does not know about.
Ken's a
he
great
is
guy.
the 6 p.m. live recording. Come and be there for that whole half hour, and you're going to. I can't say because it's a surprise. But
you can go and you can hold
yes.
up signs saying "I heart Roshini."
Please do.
Yeah, I heart Roshini.
And please follow us on thecrisisfiles.com, YouTube, Instagram, X. You can also follow me at Roshini R on X and Roshini Rajkumar on Instagram.
Are you doing TikTok?
I'm not even going to go in.
You
it's
know
too
what,
much.
Kristen?
Too much to handle.
Kristen says you got to do it. Little shorts, I guess. Apparently, it's.
He goes,
Yeah.
She
Well,
said
we
you
have
gotta
shorts
do
on
it.
our YouTube channel. I'll have my team look into it. I just don't have the look. Look at the bags under my eyes now. Just getting the
I know,
show
but
together.
if somebody else can do that though.
Yes. Okay.
don't have to do it.
I'll look at. Thank you.
I
will
know we
take
don't
this-
do it either. She's been telling us for
Catherine,
2 years.
That is a really good piece of advice, and I will take this under advisement.
Oh, she's doing
And
her
I
thing.
will ask Lene from my team, our digital content creator, to
And
look
if
at and tell me whether we should or not.
And tell Lene if she has any spare time. We're looking for her.
Oh,
Somebody
she
to
has
do
her own
TikTok,
business.
too.
I'd be happy to send you her way.
Fantastic.
Well, I tell you,
Fantastic.
that's one nice thing about doing this show, and I know you got to go in 1 minute here, but I just love doing this show because we do try on this show to let's kind of move together here, shall
Yes.
Yes.
we? Nobody talks about, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Very few people talk about that. It's just that all yelling. I've got a camera on me and I want to yell or I want to start crying. I want to do, we need another side where it's like, hey, don't worry about what those parents of my friends did for me. Hey, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Well,
It'll
and
be
what
fine.
we're doing here, Tom, on the Crisis Files, and we hope people go to thecrisisfiles.com. There's a lot of complimentary content, our whole show archive, all 168 episodes, and they're only 15 to 20 minutes. So you can buzz through them, listen to them on your long commutes or on your runs or walks. And we've really built a community. Nice. And the thing about it, what I feel blessed and affirmed by is the fact that nearly 30 past guests, including the ones that will be on the stage doing the podcast recordings, they wanted to come back. They're making time
Nice.
to be there that night, either just to show up and support or to come and do a quick chat on stage. And then we've got people from the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal, from the Minneapolis and St. Paul Chambers coming. We've got a lot of different organizations represented that are coming to watch and hang out and have a celebration. So, I mean, I'm thinking, I got to step it up because, Ed Sheeran plays in the Rotunda.
Oh.
And this is
Yeah.
the Crisis Files in the Rotunda.
Yeah.
We got to put on a show, and that's our
Sure.
plan.
Good for you. Okay,
Thank you so much.
it is in the Huntington Rotunda at the Mall of America, October 9th. Stop by anytime between 5 and 8 p.m.
So it's Friday night.
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
the 8th.
tomorrow. Yep. You'll have
Yeah.
Chris on here, and a few hours later, he'll be on stage with me in the Huntington Rotunda.
Well, I would have come with a I Heart Roshini sign, but we're going to be traveling, so.
Well, we are happy to
definitely
take
would've
your
gone.
likes and comments from afar.
There you go, Alexa. Roshini, you got to come back again. These
I
are always
will.
great
Absolutely.
conversations.
So great.
And ladies and gentlemen, we like to do this because we actually do really like to help people. Get everybody's
you do.
opinion, get everybody's view on things. That's how it used to be. Let's
No
get
assholes.
Yeah, the no asshole rule. We got that in place. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you. Well, Kath and I will be gone Thursday and Friday,
Yep.
but we'll be back on Monday.
And tomorrow's going to be quite
No
the
Jude
show.
either.
No Jude either. That's
no
right.
Jude.
No Jude
He'll be
either.
traveling as well.
I'll have to get like a Cavalier King Charles stuffed animal and put it
There
in
you
that corner.
go.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you and Andy. You'll talk to Andy and everybody else tomorrow.
Yep.
Catherine and me on Monday.
You'll all survive.
Chris Eggert, so Chris Eggert will be on with Brittany, and then Kristen will be on this tomorrow morning.
Oh, that'll be
So
great.
there you go.
There
That'll
you
work
go.
out well. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.